Hi, Mystery Recapped here. Today, I'm going to explain an action-adventure movie called Conan the Barbarian.
The army version.
Spoilers ahead.
Watch out and take care.
The movie takes place during the Hyborian Age, a time that existed thousands of years before modern civilization. We see a Sumerian blacksmith showing his young son Conan a masterpiece sword that he created. He explains that one should never trust men, women, or beasts, but they can trust their sword. Not their penis sword, their metal one. In the following scene, as Conan is scavenging the forest with some boys, he discovers an enemy gang. Terrified, he rushes back to inform the villagers, but the enemy troops reach there first. They begin to brutally slaughter the villagers and set fire to their homes. Only a few are able to arm themselves and fight back. Conan's father also fights valiantly, but a man named Rexor strikes him from behind with a large axe. He then unleashes war dogs to finish off the wounded blacksmith. Following this, we meet the enemy force's leader, a sorcerer named Thulsa Doom. He approaches Conan's mother, who tries to strike him with a sword. However, Doom easily hypnotizes her with his gaze and beheads her, leaving Conan horrified.
Where's my mom's head?
Following the massacre, the invaders capture the children and sell them into slavery. Nobody knows who the invaders were or where they went, but Conan remembers their banner, which featured a two-headed serpent above a black sun and moon. The young children are then used as laborers to keep a large treadmill going, known as the Wheel of Pain. Cut to many years later, Conan has become an adult, and he's strong enough to run the treadmill alone.
I've got the guns to do it.
His owner then puts him to work as a gladiator, where he wins countless battles. After this, he is taken to the east, where he receives formal training from martial arts experts. Conan not only improves his combat skills, but also his proficiency with swords and other weapons. Furthermore, he learns to read and write, and young women are provided for him to sleep with.
Try to keep the ladies coming.
Conan keeps on winning his fights, and his owner becomes immensely wealthy. Thus, he is finally granted his freedom. In the next scene, Conan returns to the west, but is pursued across the plains by a pack of wild dogs. He seeks refuge in a solitary rock formation, where he accidentally enters the tomb of an old king. He then steals the king's sword so that he can defend himself from the dogs.
Time to go fetch, little puppies.
Following this, Conan wanders around for years and has many adventures. But wherever he goes, he asks if anybody knows the sign of the two-headed serpent above the black sun and moon. One day, while traveling through the wilderness, Conan comes across a small hut occupied by a woman. She invites him inside and claims that she knows him from his popular tales. Conan explains that he's looking for a symbol, a single serpent with two heads facing each other. The woman offers to help him, but on the condition that he sleeps with her. Men wrote this movie. Conan agrees without any hesitation.
I'm rock hard already, baby.
And they go to bed together. During their love-making session,
Yeah. Oh, man!
the woman tells Conan that he will find what he is looking for in the ancient city of Shadizar. But moments later, she transforms into a demon and tries to attack him, forcing Conan to throw her into the fire. It is then revealed that she is a witch rather than an ordinary person. She then transforms into a ball of flame and runs away while laughing. The next day, Conan prepares to leave, but he discovers a man chained outside the witch's house. His name is Subotai, and he's a Hyrcanian archer and thief. It turns out that he was left there to die as punishment for his theft. Conan sets him free, and the two quickly become friends. He then shares about the serpent symbol and his plan to visit Shadizar. With nothing better to do, Subotai also offers to accompany him on his journey. In the next scene, they arrive at Shadizar and question an elderly man about the strange serpent symbol. The latter directs them to the Tower of Snakes, a local temple for a new cult that worships snakes. He also reveals that the location is said to have great treasures, including a massive ruby known as the Eye of the Serpent. Later, when Conan and Subotai attempt to climb the temple, they come across another thief named Valeria. The three then decide to join forces and break into the temple to steal the treasures.
Yeah! It's now a threesome.
Following this, Valeria climbs the tower and checks out the top floor, where Rexor is performing a ritual. He is hypnotizing a woman into stripping and throwing herself into a snake pit. Meanwhile, Conan and Subotai reach the pit containing the Eye of the Serpent, which is guarded by a massive snake. But it is currently sleeping, so the two steal everything they can, including the huge ruby. Moments later, Conan discovers a pendant with the two-headed serpent, confirming that he is on the right track. He steals it as well, but this is when the snake awakens.
Wow, what a savage beast.
A deadly battle then ensues between the two parties, but the men eventually manage to slay the creature. Simultaneously, Rexor discovers that the snake has died and becomes enraged. He immediately sends his guard after the thieves, but our heroes manage to escape unharmed. After the successful robbery, they indulge in an intense session of partying and drinking. Conan even gifts the huge ruby to Valyria, and they end up making love.
I sleep with everything that moves.
The next morning, they are picked up by soldiers and taken to the palace of the local king Osric. He informs the thieves that he knows what they have done because Rexor came to complain to him. He also states how Rexor threatened him with consequences if he did not catch the thieves. Upon hearing this, the trio is terrified and assumes that they will be executed. But, to their surprise, Osric reveals that he has no regard for this serpent cult and congratulates them instead. He explains that his own daughter, Yasmin, has joined the cult and is a devoted follower of the high priest, Thulsa Doom. At this very moment, she is on her way to a place called the Temple of Set to marry Doom. Osric then showers the trio with gifts and promises to provide enough treasures for them to become kings. In exchange, he wants them to save his daughter from the clutches of Thulsa Doom. After a while, Conan and Valyria become intimate again and express their love for one another. Valyria doesn't want to risk their current happiness and advises against going after Yasmin. She explains that they should just enjoy their treasures and leave King Osric to deal with his own problem. Conan pretends to agree with her, but in his mind, he is determined to exact revenge on Doom and probably sleep with Osric's daughter. The next morning, he wakes up before the others and sets out alone to the Temple of Set. After a while of walking, he arrives at the sacred standing stones guarded by an old wizard named Akiro. They quickly become friends and spend the night talking about their lives. Conan discusses his mission, but Akiro warns him that Doom is much more powerful than an ordinary person. The next day, Conan continues his journey and arrives outside the Temple of Set. He attacks a priest and knocks him out before stealing his clothes. He then disguises himself as a priest and sneaks into the temple along with the others. However, shortly after, one of the priests notices the serpent pendant, which blows our hero's cover, and he is brought before Doom. The latter tortures Conan and scolds him for stealing from their temple and killing their sacred snake. Conan also expresses rage about how they murdered his parents and destroyed his village. However, Doom responds that he was young at the time and does not recall the incident. He then directs his men to crucify Conan on the Tree of Regret. Following this, Conan is left in the desert, nailed to an ancient tree. He assumes he's going to die soon, but a few days later, Subotai manages to find him unconscious. Valyria arrives shortly after, and they free him from the nails and carry him to Akiro's hut. Conan is almost dead at this point, so Akiro summons underworld spirits to heal him. He warns that they will demand a high price, but Valyria is willing to pay anything to save her beloved. Akiro then spends several days performing rituals and painting patterns on Conan's body. A few more days later, he finally wakes up, having fully recovered. Valyria becomes emotional to see him alive and promises to always be by his side, even if she has to return from the afterlife. Next, the trio decides to return to the mountain to rescue Yasmin and kill Doom. They paint themselves with warrior camouflage and enter the temple through the back door while silently killing the guards. Inside, they discover a cannibalistic slaughterhouse where cult members are taken to be eaten by the leaders. They then move forward until they reach the throne room, where they finally find Yasmin kneeling at Doom's feet. Moments later, Doom reveals his secret to his power and longevity. It turns out he is not human at all, but rather a demigod spawn of the devil. His jaw begins to extend forward and his hands disappear beneath his robe. Seconds later, he unexpectedly transforms into a massive snake. Upon seeing this, the trio launches an attack, killing several of Doom's minions. They eventually manage to reach Yasmin and take her away forcibly. They then get on their horses and escape the wretched place. But moments later, Doom shows up, this time in his human form. He shoots them with an arrow made from a live, poisoned snake before hurrying back to the temple. The arrow strikes Valyria on the side and immortally wounds her. Conan and Subotai get her off her horse and try to save her, but it's too late. In her final moments, she informs Conan that she promised to pay the price for his life, which she has now fulfilled. She then kisses him one last time before succumbing to her injuries. In the next scene, Conan burns burns Valeria's body and conducts a proper barbarian funeral for her. Yasmin, who's tied to a rock nearby, mocks him, saying that Doom will see the fire and come after him. However, Conan simply smiles, as if he wants the enemy to come to him. Later, at the sacred standing stones, Conan, Akira, and Subutai prepare for defense and lay numerous booby traps.
Booby.
Conan then prays to the Sumerian god to give him his revenge. Soon enough, Doom arrives with his minions and launches a deadly attack, but Conan and Subutai manage to defeat the majority of his forces using the booby traps. As the war rages on, Rexor gains the upper hand on Conan and almost kills him, but Valeria briefly appears from the afterlife as she had promised. She then uses her light shield to block Rexor's deadly blow. This allows Conan to fight back and eventually kill Rexor with his sword. After losing all of his men, an enraged Doom decides to kill Yasmin with one of his snake arrows. She pleads for mercy and calls him the love of her life, but Doom doesn't care and ends up shooting her. Fortunately, her life is saved when Subutai jumps in front of her with his shield. This infuriates Doom so much that he runs back to his temple to energize his powers. The scene then shifts to the mountain temple, where Doom is performing a purification ritual with the fire of torches. Conan sneaks into the temple again, this time with the help of Yasmin, who has now joined his cause. When Doom sees him, he welcomes him with open arms. He even addresses Conan as his son, reminding him that he was the one who gave the boy purpose and strength in life. Doom attempts to hypnotize him, and for a brief moment, it appears to work. But Conan quickly snaps back to reality and decapitates Doom. He then tosses the head to the followers at the bottom of the stairs.
Here you go, little man.
The cult members are terrified to see this and immediately run away. In the aftermath, Conan throws a burning oil lamp into the temple, setting it on fire. Yasmin then surrenders at his feet, and he leads her to her father. As the movie ends, we see a much older Conan seated on a throne. Akira explains in a voiceover that Conan went on many adventures before ultimately gaining a throne and becoming the king. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.